Gauteng Premier David Makhura is promising to reinvent Gauteng in the next 5 to 15 years. Delivering his State of the Province address this morning, the Premier promised a review of the e-tolling system, create 300,000 jobs, 100% internet coverage, among other ambitious proposals. Makhura says he will set up a panel to relook the province's controversial e-tolling system. In the next 200 days, the provincial government shall enter into dialogue with the private sector players to create what it calls more decent jobs. Focus will be on local manufacturing and assembling of buses and trains to promote reindustrialization of Gauteng. Makhura says Gauteng is trailing behind other city regions in the world with regards to investing in skills and economic infrastructure. On micro-enterprises, Makhura wants to see an aggressive development of the township economy. The Premier says the provincial government should procure goods from small businesses.
This mic is not on. Somebody must sort everything out, please.
Earlier, I spoke to John Clarke, ARTA spokesperson, and I began by asking him what are ARTA's reactions to David Makhura calling for a relook into e-tolls.
Well, cautious optimism is a vindication. ARTA has, months ago, on our website, put up a report which had called exactly for what he's now calling for, and for a look into it to actually kind of check some of the assumptions and the presuppositions in the light of the experience. So we're encouraged that he's been receptive to that, and we're looking forward to being party to that process. Same time, you know, Humpty Dumpty is fallen. There's no way of putting him back together again. It's actually, we would have liked him to have gone further and scrapped them, suspended them, pending this review. We understand he can't do that in position of Premier because ultimately this is a national government competence with the Department of Transport and Sanral. So what we're now looking for is what is Sanral's response to this, the Minister of Transport response, because of course, as you well know, that Sanral has been, you know, had fires to fight in all provinces of late because of very, you know, somewhat arrogant and presumptuous decisions that they've been made.
Then I asked John if he were to speculate, how many would he say are paying for e-tolls?
We'd say somewhere in the 40% of vehicles. We were surprised. We thought it would be a lot higher. We did another count. Today I went past the mosque and all the cars gathered around. I just did a quick count. I think it was about 2 out of 10. Now, those were at mosque, not necessarily all of them use the roads. I'm interested in looking at that. You know, just look at very, very low take-up. So there's quite clearly this system is not getting any traction whatsoever because, you know, motorists believe there's an alternative, and that's where ARTA is now looking to play our part in trying to turn things around so that we can actually make this useful for democracy. I have to say I was very inspired by Premier Makhura's address in respect of all the other things he said, because he talked what we want to hear as citizens, that it's about participatory democracy. The point is that we wouldn't be in the trouble we are now with e-tolls had that participatory process happened when it should have at the beginning.
I asked him what he would suggest to motorists who've decided not to buy e-tags, and this is what he had to say about that.
We'd say, carry on. I mean, there's certainly no reason right now, I mean, even less so. You know, I mean, what we are concerned is that there's still these, you know, intimidation, psychological warfare tactics. We're asking Premier Makhura to withdraw the Gauteng Community Safety Police from the roadblocks that have been done with Sanral vans nearby. We believe that Sanral is using the Gauteng police, misusing them, delegitimizing the Gauteng police in terms of their proper function as law enforcement officers, and he does have authority as the Premier to do that. He might not have to cancel the e-tolls and tell the e-toll vans to go away, but he can tell his policemen, come back please, let's do the proper policing thing and let's not give any credence to the system.
John had mentioned to me that he just recently received information about the Wild Coast toll system that had just come to light, and he explains to me exactly what transpired.
Now, this is something which goes back over a decade, where the plans for Sanral to reroute the N2 along the Wild Coast of the Eastern Cape very close to the coastal dunes, which are very rich in titanium resources. Now, we've been battling that for a long time, and have been successful in actually stalling that mining operation, which will destroy that beautiful part of the country. So with that context, we've been trying to engage with Sanral and Nazar Ali about rerouting that road so that it wouldn't be so close to the road, close to the coast. However, he's bulldozed, manipulated, and deceived, to the point where 2 weeks ago, on Friday, at the Wild Coast Sun, he had a clandestine meeting with somebody from the Mpondo royal family who is claiming to be the king of the Mpondo. He has absolutely no claim on such. A constitutional court ruling last year found that he had no such claim, and this is a hugely interfering with the very delicate situation that prevails in that area. Vusi Mona and Nazar Ali were there. Fortunately, one of the local residents from the community were able to go to that meeting. They were subject to considerable kind of security presence, and it was a great opportunity to actually find out exactly how deceitful this Nazar Ali and Vusi Mona were being. I was with this person, took her to see the legitimate queen of the Mpondo to report back, and we have put out a media statement which will go out to actually call upon the public protector to investigate this, including to investigate who is supporting the so-called claimant to the Mpondo royal throne. Now, if those of you have seen the films like Avatar, there's something strangely of life imitating art here, but I would urge the public to actually be vigilant, because this is not what a constitutional democracy is about. We have a Bill of Rights. We have the freedom of expression. There's no need, if they have a case to be made, for them to have such clandestine meetings, and we would want to say that in the light of other instances of Sanral's conduct in the Western Cape, where the Loanle squatters were pushed off their land, that there's something very sinister happening. So we mustn't just see this e-toll thing in Gauteng as being an isolated issue unique to Gauteng. There is a dynamic at work here which I believe we need to challenge and confront and expose so that our democracy is not threatened.
Well, that was John Clarke, Arta's spokesperson. Of course, we tried to contact Sanral. We did speak to them, but they said they were not available for comment. Well,